Will Beast of it increase the gap even more? Or will I don't know, we're at the start of the US triple header and I can't think of a good intro. It's lights out and away we go, and it's a little bit tricky to tell who got the best start, but it's seeming like Beast of it got best of the line. However, here's someone else at the front. I think that's HBSK. I'm not too sure. There's a lot of drivers switching around. No, that was Even Gaming. That was Even Gaming. Okay, a lot of drivers have made the decision to pick the 2010 car, which is a very wise decision considering that Indianapolis is a track that demands grip. Yeah, it's on. Beastible was actually the driver that got the best start, and he absolutely needs all the points he can get to catch up to Jay-Z, because he only has a margin of either 5 or 4 races left, depending on if Albert Park is added to the calendar or not. And believe me when I say this, I'm really not sure. Like, I expected that we'd be at Albert Park today, but I guess my predictions weren't entirely the best. But still, it brings this active championship battle to the lightning-fast streets of Indianapolis one race quicker. No, it's a circuit. What are you talking about now? But yeah, looking down the rest of the board, we have Jay-Z, Super Saiyan, Spider-Zap, R-Auto, and the HDSK all the way down in 6th. If he can't improve his positioning, then I think that might be the championship fight over for the German driver. But still, look at how symbolic this is at the front. Beastible was always known to be a driver who always loved Red Bull. And in this race, he's picked the 2023 Red Bull as he can't go for the 2024 Red Bull due to a glitch. And so, he's picked the Miami Lights livery, the same one he ran during the Apex World Championships final. He wouldn't get the title on that day, but he's been synonymous with Red Bull ever since. Meanwhile, Jay-Z is decided to pick the car that he started this whole championship ordeal with, which was the 2010 BMW Sauber. Well, technically it's the 2009 one because they didn't appear in 2010, but you know what I mean. And currently, it's seeming like Beastiver has the advantage, and Beastiver is actually in the weaker car when comparing both of them, so that's going to give him a nice little bump in points. I'm pretty sure it's about 4 or so bonus points, but still, they are neck and neck with each other, and it's very difficult to tell which of these two championship titans are going to either close the gap or extend the gap. Again, we'll just have to wait until the end. And remember, the bonus point for the fastest lap will still play a part in this, and it's going to be much more impactful if Beastiver can score it rather than Jay-Z, but it's seeming like Jay-Z is not going to let that go down without a fight. Remember, Indianapolis is one of the shortest tracks on the calendar. Actually, no, it's the shortest track on the calendar, and so, despite the fact that we've extended the lap counter a little bit, this is going to be the shortest race on the calendar. Almost comparable to a sprint, if anything. But really, considering there are no mandatory pit stops for any of the races, technically every race is a sprint, I suppose. But yeah, it's seeming like Jay-Z has the gap for now, but he's given Beastiver the hidden blessing of DRS, although it doesn't end up opening, so I think Beastiver might have gotten glitched out of it. Still, these two drivers are giving it everything that they've got. Looking on the rest of the order as well, HBSK is starting to climb out of this little rut he's got, and he's fighting against the British driver of Spider-Zap, who's shown to have some solid pace throughout basically all of the races he's been through, but he can never really culminate that into a good result. And then there's also Benjamin in a 2010 all the way back here. Ethan, the hometown hero, hasn't necessarily got the best start after leading into the first corner. A bit unfortunate for him. Meanwhile, Beastiver is properly starting to fall back behind Jay-Z. If they can increase the gap to over a second, it's over a second. I don't think Beastiver's going to get DRS here. No, he doesn't. There's no DRS in the Red Bull, and Jay-Z is successfully starting to break away. These could be critical points if he's able to score them. But still, do remember that Beastiver does still have the benefit of potentially scoring more fastest lap points. And he's also just going to score more bonus points in general. So even if Jay-Z wins here, it's not going to be a gap increase by much. But still, he already has a 41-point gap, so any increase will be beneficial for him. Meanwhile, Super Saiyan 2018, the guy who was on the podium in the previous race, is on an incredible run, finding up in 3rd place. The Spaniard definitely hasn't had the best luck throughout the rest of the season, but it's seeming like he's starting to turn a bit of a new leaf with these upcoming races, and I'm very interested to see how far it'll go. And HCSK has inevitably won the battle for 4th as he's stretched out 3 seconds ahead of Spider-Zap. So, very good showing from him. I just kind of feel like his championship fight is a bit too far gone now. It was a very promising figure early on, but I think he bled too many points when Beastava showed up on the scene. And speaking of Beastava, that gap is just starting to get larger and larger and larger. Jay-Z definitely picked the more beneficial car for this track, considering how impactful grip is on Indianapolis, despite the long straight potentially petering out the top speed of the 2010 car a little bit. Even despite that, the 2010 car is still a really, really good choice for this track. Okay, we actually got our first lapping of the field on. Screw me, we're already on lap 8? My god, when I said this was going to be a sprint, I wasn't kidding! Yeah, I feel like this may entirely come down to how the game is played in the pits, because Jay-Z has made a little bit of a gap, but who knows how long that's gonna last if Beastava can play his cards right. The one benefit for Jay-Z in this situation is that the 2010 car actually has pretty nice tyre preservation, so he's probably not going to have to be too concerned about boxing. Meanwhile, Beastava is in a car which was infamously only really good if you used it with the soft compound. So, yeah, needless to say, Beastava is going to be pushing that to the limit and is naturally going to be wearing it just that little bit quicker. Jay-Z still keeping things consistent, but flicking around on the rest of the grid, we have Otto teleporting, wow. And then we have Alan, who decided to show up in the 2003 McLaren, which was an interesting choice, considering that this car's only really good on Indianapolis when it's wet, despite the fact that this is the era of cars that this track supposedly ran with, but, you know, I don't like this. But yeah, Beastava is now seriously struggling to try and get some pace on Jay-Z. I'm not entirely sure if Jay-Z's going to be able to hold this for the rest of the race, but if he can, that is huge for the current championship leader. And remember, he potentially couldn't even show up in this race if we didn't move the calendar back a little bit, because Jay-Z was under a serious time crunch that he couldn't overcome under the normal schedule. So we moved that backwards to keep the championship fight alive, and I think Jay-Z's probably going to be glad that we ended up doing that, considering the pace he's got right now. Okay, Super Saiyan is still staying within about 5 seconds of Beastava. Maybe this could be a reflection of how the 2010 car was truly the best car out of pick here, and maybe it was Beastava's vehicle choice that started to weigh him down. Or maybe Super Saiyan was really good this whole time, and it was his machinery that was weighing him down. I guess we're not going to find out today. This is very much a odd mystery to try and think about. But yeah, Beastava just barely doesn't have the fastest lap as well. That could potentially bleed into points that they need to get if they want to catch up to the lead. Of course, the more time they spare and behind Jay-Z, the more of a long shot it's starting to become, as his championship hopes pretty much relied on him keeping the win streak alive that he had ever since the very beginning. And if Jay-Z can pull this off, this is going to be absolute elation for him, because he hasn't won a race since all the way back in Mexico. So him pulling it off here would be, I wouldn't necessarily say historical, but more so a relief for the current championship leader. Honestly, I'm seeing a lot of parallels from the 2024 season here. You know, like one guy who gets a really early lead, then one contestant who looks like he's got a really big shot, and then another contestant who appears beforehand who gets way closer, but he has to play pretty much perfectly if he wants to become the champion. Yeah, this is just like the 2024 season. Wow. But Jay-Z still keeping his head cool, but the real question is if he boxes for new tires. No, he doesn't. He's decided to stay out past the halfway mark of the race. Does Beastifer make that same choice, or is he going to box for a new compound? No, Beastifer decides to stay out as well. Maybe he's more confident in being able to keep his tires in a good state considering the shorter length of the race. Yeah, looking at the splits here. Wait, did Jay-Z improve his fastest lap? Yeah, he did. That's a 49.6 now. You hardly ever see laps quicker than 50 seconds on Indianapolis. So if that's not a sign that Jay-Z is locked the hell in, I don't know what is. Or just like added up the grammar on a little bit there. My mind just sort of crossed two things over at once. But yeah, this is currently looking like Jay-Z's way ace for the win. But of course, remember, in a game like Formula Apex, all it takes is one singular mistake to Newton, and Beastifer cuts too many track limits! That right there, if it wasn't over for Beastifer before, it's even more over than it is now. Even Super Saiyan 2018 may potentially have a chance to make a jump on the main championship rival. If Super Saiyan's able to pull that off, I'm pretty sure it's something that he's never gonna forget. He's within about 2 seconds of Beastifer now, which I think is probably the closest he's gotten, and he's only making it closer thanks to the absurd grip of the car. Wow, what a run this is from Super Saiyan. I don't think anyone was expecting him to make the kind of comeback he's been making. Maybe this is something to do with Beastifer's raw tires. I'm not too sure. But yeah, Beastifer only about a second ahead of Super Saiyan. They may end up losing third place and they may end up losing second and not just the win, depending on what happens from here. Yeah, this is the one part where Beastifer definitely has an advantage, considering the higher top speed of the 2023 car. But really, any car has higher top speed than the 2010 car, so that's really not too much of a compliment. Yeah, Super Saiyan is surprisingly focused here. Flicking through the rest of the field, it's seeming like Jay-Z, Spider, Zet, and Benjamin have made enough of a gap to essentially solidify their spots, meaning the only real battle is right here. And Super Saiyan has gotten way closer to Beastifer. Could he potentially make an overtake? I'm gonna be amazed if this actually ends up getting pulled off, considering how close they are. Like, look, the gap is less than a second now, and Super Saiyan is taking these corners perfectly. Could the Spaniard jump up to second place? Oh, look, it's one popular fizzy drink. Oh, he taps the sausage curve there. I feel like that might have killed his pace a little, but he still doesn't seem to be deterred despite... Okay, he's got a track limit. Still, the fact that he awoke to that degree of, like... I don't even know what you call that. That was seriously impressive from the Spaniard. Nearly having a jump and a driver as prestigious as Beastifer. Yeah, good work. Okay, Jay-Z is now 17 seconds ahead and has decided to still not pit for new tires. I'm guessing he's going for a no-stop strategy here. And in the same vein, so is Beastifer. I feel like if he was going for a no-stop strategy, he definitely could have picked a better car for the job. You know, something that preserves the tires a little bit better. So I feel like this was probably, I feel like if you were to ask me where Beastifer lost this race, it would be in his car choice. Part of it may have been due to the fact that he couldn't use any 24 car, but maybe he was trying to get a little bit more risks with the points he could have gotten. If you ask me, I think after this race, Beastifer's probably going to play it a lot more safe with his vehicle choices, considering what playing it dangerous has got on him in his active championship battle. Like, Super Saiyan is inching closer and closer. They could potentially make a jump at Beastifer again. Again, if they actually end up pulling this off, this could be historical, and Beastifer has made the decision to box for new softs. I have a feeling this is probably him admitting defeat for the overall race, and now with the fastest lap in that car. So really, that's the best decision that Beastava could have made. But it also means that Super Saiyan 2018 has essentially been promoted to second place. While they didn't overtake Beastava on track, I feel like they're probably going to keep a hold of that lead. But now, considering what's on the line for Beastava, considering that these potential, I think, 3 points for Beastava, if he gets the fastest lap, could potentially decide a championship if Beastava starts to get way better in the upcoming races. Everyone are going to start holding their breath, watching the screens as Beastava goes on for his fast lap attempt. Let's all watch. A little bit shaky from the start. Does he nail the first sausage car? Beautifully executed from him. Not tapping it once, but just about getting as much grip as possible. Very nicely done there, though. I think... Wait, did Beastava hit a track limit? I think that was a track limit from Beastava. Yeah, look. Yeah, it was a track limit from Beastava. So he's abandoned the fastest lap attempt, and if he wants to go for it again, then he is going to have to do it with these slightly worn tires. How is this for ironic? Beastava has spent so much time in the fastest lap setup that HVSK, the championship rival that he's just overtaken, is now 4 seconds behind him. Okay, now Beastava restarts his fastest lap attempt, and he is more focused than ever. Does he nail the sausage car? Nails it like usual. He takes it a little bit wide there. That may potentially be a track limit. I'm not too sure. He's playing with the devils again with how close he's getting to the barriers there. Is that a track limit? Is that a good sector? I'm not too sure. Let's look at the splits. It's another track limit! Beastava ran into it once again! If this ends up being what could have been a fastest lap, then that is going to be utterly tragic for the Brit. Getting so close to setting a potential fastest lap and then bottling it because they got a little bit too cocky with the track limits. Shut up, watch. So yeah, what time would this have been? Ooh, it wouldn't have even been a fastest lap on top of that. I feel like Beastava probably has one more chance to get the fastest lap on JZ. It wasn't a very clean entry into the first sector, but he's still making the most out of it. You can see that he's definitely going a lot safer with the lines he's got. Because remember, Beastava is in more worn tires in weaker machinery, so he definitely has a mountain to... And he does it for a 3rd time. I feel like considering how worn his tires have gotten, that's probably the last fastest lap attempt we're going to get from Beastava. His gamble to try and get the fastest lap has not paid off, and now he's fallen from 2nd place to 3rd place. And hell, HVSK is starting to catch up as well. I don't think he's going to be quick enough to get an overtake, considering that HVSK is in way weaker machinery, but still, the fact that that's happening at all really shows pretty much the resolve of HVSK, I think. Who knows? Maybe this result, by getting this close to Beastava with these bonus points, maybe that could potentially bring him back into some kind of championship fight. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Wait, did Beastava cut another track limit? Wait, he did. HVSK is getting suspiciously close now. If Beastava somehow manages to lift that much of a lead, I am going to be amazed. Okay, it's a 10-second gap. It's a 10-second gap. That's it. So yeah, I'm pretty sure the places are now essentially set in stone, considering the positions that the other drivers have come. And really, there's one more thing I'd like to talk about, and that is the dream run that Super Saiyan 2018 has had. Like I've said many times before in this race, he's a driver that's had the worst luck out of anyone here in his previous endeavors with the 2007 car. But here he is with the 2010 car after finishing 3rd in the previous race, now improving on that and potentially finishing in 2nd. It's been one hell of a comeback from the Spaniard, and if the patterns are matching up, then there's a good chance that we may see Super Saiyan take an entire race win. But of course, that all depends on if he's able to kick it up to an even higher notch than he had before. And again, I don't think Well, he has every chance in the world to prove me wrong tomorrow. So we'll just have to wait and see. And now we head on to the final lap of the race. Early on in this race, I was suspecting that we'd have a wheel-to-wheel battle to the very end between the two biggest title rivals, JZ50 and Beastava. Especially considering that Beastava has kind of built this reputation of getting win after win after win, a bit like Max Verstappen. And he was slowly closing in on JZ over and over and over, despite starting his run on race 4. However, I feel like it all came down to car choice today because JZ picks the perfect vehicle for Indianapolis considering the grip. And now, after such a long drought, for the first time since Mexico, the championship leader takes another win. JZ50 wins in Indianapolis, and for the first time in ages, he wins it by a landslide. Super Saiyan 2018 in the exact same car finishes in second place after another miracle run after his... Oh my god, no! No, have I ruined it? Oh no! Wait, is Beastava gonna... Wait. It's not over yet. Could Beastava still potentially jump in a second? He still might have just enough time. Oh my god! Okay. Super Saiyan didn't lose enough time. He still finished in second over Beastava. Oh my god, imagine if he lost that. I would have felt like shit. But yeah, Beastava comes in third place after making a poor vehicle choice, and he doesn't even secure the fastest lap, potentially spelling doom for even his championship fight. HBSK comes in fourth after, again, another kind of poor choice in car, but he beats all of the cars in his field, and I feel like that was probably enough for him to put a smile on his face. And wow, how quickly did that potential championship picture turn around? Like, beforehand we were going, oh my word, HBSK is gonna absolutely take the win, and then we thought, oh, Beast was gonna make the jump here, and now we're potentially thinking that JZ is gonna hold on to this championship lead from start to finish. What an incredible result